In this Star Wars Outlaws video, we will be breaking down the brand new gameplay videos that have just released. We'll be taking a look at all of the details they have, and there is so much to discover. But before we do take a look at everything though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on this game. So at Ubisoft Forward yesterday, they came out with two gameplay videos, one that was more of a traditional gameplay demo, which was less like a trailer and just a pure demo, whereas the other one was more of a showcase showing various parts of the game in an extended trailer kind of video. Both offered lots of new details to take a look at, and Ubisoft also confirmed some details regarding the gameplay and such. So let's take a look at all of the stuff that you probably may have missed, and not the obvious things like, say, the Rancor being on screen for a second or two. I firstly want to talk about the outfits, because we actually got our first look at a bunch of different clothing items that you'll be able to find in the game for Kay. The first example is when Kay is walking through this grimy underworld, so we can see that Kay does have a different top and jacket. The jacket is a different colour, has no sleeves, whereas her top isn't the white one that we saw previously, that's short-sleeved. This is long-sleeved, and it appears that she is also wearing gloves as well. A similar outfit can be seen in this shot on Tashara. It's not entirely the same outfit, I believe, but it is something similar. See those flying creatures? They're called Ageless Flyers, and they actually steal things from across the game world, and they hoard them in nests. So you're actually going to be able to go up to various nests and collect some treasure. Then we have Kay wearing this big coat on Kajimi, which is covered in snow as well. I'm not sure if this is the same jacket, but this is another similar winter jacket that we can see her wear, and we have seen this in a couple of the trailers before. We also get to see Kay when she is younger wearing slightly different clothing and a different hairstyle. This may be when she meets Nyx for the first time. It is unknown if you're going to be able to find these clothes and wear them, similar to how we found Cal's older clothes from Fallen Order in Jedi Survivor. Going back to this shot of Kay, and she is actually betting on Favia racers right here. This is something that you can do in-game on her homeworld of Cantonica. There is so much Aurebesh to translate. You have screens, boards on the walls, and of course the holograms. There also appears to be some sort of cutting mechanic to gain access to doors and such. Kay uses this same feature when she is younger and also in present day. This tool seems to confirm that there will be some areas that will be accessible through slicing open bars or whatever using the tool. So that could be pretty fun and open many different locations up. A similar stick in the arsenal of Kay-Vess is her data spike that she wears as a hairpin. So there will be the various locks that need to be picked, and you can just shove in your data knife and then complete the puzzle and unlock the item, whatever it is. You'll be rotating the various parts of the lock, and there is also a help button as well. I know some people don't like puzzles in their video games, so what Ubisoft have been able to do with this game is allow puzzles to be made easier or harder depending what type of challenge you want. Another issue I saw people have with this game from the previous showings were the lack of new aliens. It was mostly the stuff that we saw in the original films, and pretty much that was it. But the good news is that this trailer does show quite a lot of different aliens that we have not seen before in Star Wars Outlaws. For example, we see two Galusians, which is really interesting. These were seen in Solo, A Star Wars Story. There were several Trandoshans, Zabraks, and Ithorians were confirmed because there were two of them in the trailer, including one at the Mos Eisley Cantina and another at one of the other cantinas found in the game. We also get to see Hylobon Enforcers, which were the personal guards of Dryden Voss and now Kira of Crimson Dawn. I was very happy to see these in the trailer, and it's just great to see. I have had several people ask me in my comments, will there be a sniper rifle in this game? And I was like, I assume there would be. Well, we have confirmation there will be at least one, and here it is in action with Kay aiming down the scope at various NPCs. You are able to zoom in and out with the scope, and I am a huge fan of snipers, so this was great to get confirmed. Another weapon Kay can pick up and use is the Z6 rotary cannon of the Empire, and at least one variant will come with a shield as well, which looks really cool. You can see her take on one of the troop transports, originally a Kenner toy, and then it has since become part of Star Wars canon. It's the little things, but this cannon does do some quite significant damage to the front of the transport, which I do appreciate. Kay's blaster model is the VM19 Heavy Blaster, and that's the one you're going to be carrying around with you. But if you see any blasters in the field, you will be able to pick them up and use them until ammo does run out. You will be able to unlock new modules for Kay's blaster to do various things such as stun and the ion disruption. On to some ship combat stuff now, and something I noticed, which was cool to see, were 2 Raider-class corvettes. Most notably, these were in Battlefront 2, the model of ship that the Corvus was, Inferno Squad ship. You will also notice these sort of satellite things in various space shots throughout the game, and some people have said those are Operation Cinder satellites. That is not true. They also appear in the orbit of various planets, so yeah, it's not Operation Cinder just yet. This is pre-Return of the Jedi. Another ship we see is one that the Trailblazer is taking out, and it looks like a Laforian corvette. It resembles a little bit of the Crucible, the ship that Jedi younglings will go on to get their lightsaber crystal. And this is a transport. I'm not 100% sure of the exact model name. It could be a new vehicle for all we know, but it does remind me quite a bit of the ITS transport that the Resistance use at Galaxy's Edge and also became a LEGO set. Of course, this is more likely either part of the Hutt cartel or some other pirate group, because of the NPCs that we see in this docking bay. I now want to discuss UI, because not only does it look great, but it also does offer some new features that we have not seen before. For example, in this shot we can see that Kay can select from the electro binoculars, which we've seen her use before, to a smoke bomb or EM disruptor. So this does confirm things like smoke bombs. There will be grenades. We did see thermal detonators laying around in various shots in other trailers, but now we know there will be more types of grenades. This is a brand new look at the UI for the decision making in the game. So as you can see, you can choose which selection you want to make on the left or right. And when switching between the two, you will have an update of what that will do to your reputation with the said syndicate, be it Crimson Dawn or, say, the Pikes or Hutt cartel. It sort of freeze frames the game and waits for you to make the decision, which is interesting. I think it's pretty seamless in my opinion. I also want to take some time to call out this menu here, which just looks fantastic. Whilst we only see the experts section under the abilities, we can see that you'll be able to switch between different tabs of vehicles, equipment, abilities, map, journal, reputation, and databank. There'll be notification points indicating if you have something new to explore on those tabs. You also have your amount of credits that you have in the top left-hand corner of the screen too. The idea of using Sabacc card shapes for the experts panel is really, really well done. This UI is just really clean, it looks great, and I'm a big fan of it. On to some of the descriptions of these experts. So there is this mechanic that can help give your speeder a boost. There are criminals hanging around Macau's on Tashara looking to hire the best slicer. Then we get to see some additional cards under the bartender. So Cantina Brawling is the ability, and it allows Kay to execute melee attacks by pressing X, pressing repeatedly to chain hits. Then we have the lockpicking mechanic, so you will be able to open a variety of doors and containers by succeeding at the lockpicking minigame. There is also Fast Talk, and this allows Kay to quickly react to nearby enemies that have been alerted and delay their reaction, and you'll get a prompt to basically activate this. You have to do various things to unlock them though. There are criteria. For example, to unlock this one, you need to use takedown on 3 distracted enemies and then defeat 5 enemies with melee. You are able to follow the progression though, which is good. So the gameplay demo picks the Gunslinger, and then it shows us the map of Mos Eisley and a bit of Tatooine as well. So we get the first look at the map in the game. We can also see that there is different zoom levels, similar to how LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga does work. So you can zoom quite far in, all the way to being quite far out. Unfortunately, we don't get to see this in action. It would have been really nice to get a much better idea just how big this planet is going to be in terms of playable area, but you can see that the Mos Eisley city and outskirts are pretty big, and then there is also a valley to the left. To the left of the desert valley, there is a big Imperial logo, which says to me that is where the Empire are currently holding out, and there is also this big area towards the bottom of the screen that has a magnifying glass that says to me, you're going to have to go over and explore it. We also get a look at the updated ship UI, so there is some changes regarding the UI and HUD for the Trailblazer. I also love the colour work going on here for the various icons and abilities and such. We also get to see the reputation system update in real time, the journal updated, and the amount of credits you get. We also get another look at the menu to choose which destination you want to travel to through hyperspace, and there is also reputation updating on the HUD as well, so it went from poor to good with the Pike Syndicate. I also really like when the hyperdrive is ready and fully calibrated. To travel through lightspeed, you need to click both of the thumbsticks in, and the text classes it as punching it. Here is some additional UI for the ship combat as well. We can see the health of various fighters that are our targets, but also the health of the thing that we're actually trying to defend. There are lots of different icons, various things happening in the orbit to go and explore once this fight is finished. When arriving at Tatooine, you can see some of the locations that you're actually able to land at, so Mos Eisley Docking Bay 94, Bestine, Wayfar, and Mos Algo. In a previous video, I talked about how in one of the recent interviews, the developers said that there is actually like a radio when you're travelling around some of the planets, and there'll be local authorities talking, for example, and you'll be able to catch wind of various events happening in the game world, and we can see this happening right here. It says Dispatcher, and it appears that there is an Imperial event going off, a random world event that you'll be able to go up to and decide to engage or not with it. Next up is the UI of the electro binoculars in action, so we can see that you're able to place a waypoint where you're looking, annotate, zoom range, the ability to tag various troopers, and you also can see what faction they're from, what type of trooper they are, whether they be a grenadier or something along those lines, and just various other parts that you can mark that are going to be entrances, things like that. I also wanted to call out in this clip there is UI for, say, trespassing on locations that you shouldn't be. There are other interactive elements in the game world that just are waiting for you to go up and press, click, do all kinds of stuff too, because there is so much in this game, it's crazy. But we don't really see that in this gameplay demo. I can also appreciate how the text goes from Aurebesh to English like so. Very small, but subtle, nice UI implementation, I think. We also get to see the Wanted pop up once again on an Imperial space station by the looks of it, and we also get chased by an ATST at the front door of an Imperial base on Tashara by the looks of things. Of course, everyone has seen the Death Troopers in these gameplay videos already, but what I really did like is how it showed stealth mechanics off against such a formidable opponent. You're actually going to be able to sneak in the grass by taking things slow, crouching and such, and then use an electro shock prod to take out troopers as quietly as possible. Next up is the arcade game that Kay is playing at the start of the gameplay demo, and you might be thinking, what is this? Well, this is actually apparently called Raven 6, and it's a space shooter. This is all according to Ubisoft, and this is going to be the one of many games that you will be able to play in the game's world. So, much like other games that have done this in the past, you're going to be able to go up to arcade cabinets and just play them. Kay has been playing this one for years specifically. She's good at it, supposedly, but there will be other games to try out. We also get some more details on the Trailblazer. So we did know the model of the ship. It was the EML 850 light freighter, and apparently this is the last of its kind. It was built during the Clone Wars, and it was never actually mass-produced because of its high production cost. So this one is actually a rare prototype that Kay has stolen. It's got a lot going for it, but it just never made it to mass production, unfortunately, so that's why it's rare. That's the background behind this model of ship. Next up, we see Kay playing Kessel Sabak with Lando and other characters in two different shots, and this is apparently her favourite game to play, according to Ubisoft. As part of this minigame, you're actually going to be able to call out cheaters, so Lando probably is going to be cheating, and you are also able to cheat yourself if you wish to risk it. Lando is wearing an appearance that closer resembles what we see in, say, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and The Rise of Skywalker. Next up, I really want to appreciate the incredible density of this game with these various cantinas and spaceports. There are merchants selling food that you can stop at. go to places to buy weaponry and things like that, go and have a drink in the various cantinas. Just look how many NPCs are on screen at any given moment in time. Their various clothes, what they're doing. They are fighting, drinking, gambling, talking. There is tons of artwork on the walls, various posters that no doubt the community will want to translate to see what they say. There is just so much stuff happening, it's insane. You can walk slowly and get a real sense of just how packed this world is. And this is just one space station, for example, that you can visit. There are plenty of shops and screens to take a look at. You can also speak to various people. Nix can do things, pick items up. It's just fantastic. This is a Star Wars game that we have all been waiting for. You will also see droids walking around, not just humanoid NPCs. There will be people to talk to as well. Just so much cool stuff. It's insane. We also get a better look of the Trailblazer's interior by walking through it. We can see that there will be a ladder, as well as other doors and such that you can go through. We don't know what those rooms do, but there will also be other things to pick up like datapads and such, which will add more lore to the game. There is nothing quite like walking through the doors of the Mos Eisley Cantina either. It's bustling with NPCs, it looks just how you'd imagine it, and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to experience this. This is a true Star Wars moment. In those previous few clips, we did see a bunch of interactive elements in the game world, but the same could be said in combat encounters as well. There are explosive barrels to make use of, pick up ammunition and grenades. You will also be able to use Nix to go and distract enemies or take them out, things like that. There is quite a bit more interaction with the environment that I expected, to be honest, and this is all very, very good. There is tons of stuff to go around, pick up, and ask Nix to go and fetch for you. How you will regenerate health is through picking up Bacta vials, so we actually see a couple of these that you can pick up nearby. We did get a close-up of what they look like, thanks to the visual guide that they did release last year. I'd assume you will have some sort of limited amount of storage space that you'll be able to pick up a few of them and use them to replenish your health. This short sequence here does show that there is time of day in the game to some extent. It goes from daytime to sunset to night time. If I had to guess, traversing around the environment will just change the time of day. If you arrive at a location, it will change to try and replicate a bit of a time jump. This area of Tatooine is called Wayfar Station, and you can see a bounty hunter board on the left-hand side of this doorway, and it features tons and tons of pictures of bounties, including Kay herself. I wonder if you get wanted by the Empire, your face will start popping up around the various boards and such and screens in the game. There are screens of her in the cantina with her face on saying wanted, bounty, reward and stuff like that, but I don't know if they're just always going to be like that or it will be dynamic and appear only when you are wanted by the Empire. Then we get to see a similar function to the Jedi mechanic in Red Dead Redemption 2 here, so you can see that Kay is able to mark various enemies here and remove the mark if she wishes to do so, and then blast them one by one. Akiva is a planet that is being fully realised for the first time in this game, and basically Ubisoft did confirm that there's going to be something very interesting regarding the planet's history within this game, and you'll be able to learn that with Kay and Nix, so I'm really curious as to what that means. We learn from Ubisoft that these droids here are called Enforcer droids, and they are used by all of the crime syndicates, so these will be a common enemy you will come up against. They're a little bit stronger than the routine NPCs that are just traditional grunts and such, but you can take them out easier by using the Ion module for Kay's VM-19 Heavy Blaster. We also get to see massives that were used by Tusken Raiders in the films. Which details were your favourites? Let me know down in the comment section below, and anything else you'd like to share as well. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future news updates on this game. And if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.